In the crumbling heart of the palace, the young leader of Baymard, Landon Barn, finds the man he traveled across lands to rescue, the king of Tariq, Mitchell, reduced to a mere shell of his former self by years of slow poisoning. Despite hovering on the edge of death, the king's spirit refuses to break. He demands to know why this young intruder has dared to breach his sanctuary, his voice cold and commanding even in his dying moments. Landon dismisses the king's hostility with a reckless, playful grin. He offers no grand explanation, only claiming that he is here simply because he likes the king, leaving the guards baffled and the king speechless. The king, realizing this strange young man might be his only salvation, abandons his pride. He pleads with Landon to save his remaining family locked in the dungeon, a regret that has haunted his lonely, poisoned days. Landon's demeanor shifts instantly from playful to professional. With precision, he commands his men to strip the fallen guards, clothing the frail king in a simple disguise to facilitate their daring escape. The team moves like ghosts through the south wing hallways. Every step is calculated, their mission hanging by a thread as they transition toward the west wing, desperate to reach the secret dungeons before the palace guards strike back. Deep within the bowels of the castle, the air is stagnant. Landon arrives at the dungeon, finding the queen and her children chained, their eyes wide with fear and survival, sensing the approach of danger. Jasmine, having trained herself to be the shield for her children, prepares to fight whatever threat comes through the door. She assumes it is another guard, refusing to yield until she realizes the intent of these mysterious strangers. Landon attempts to calm the queen, informing her that the king has sent them. Jasmine, having been told for years that the king is dying, struggles to reconcile these words with her deep-seated mistrust of the palace forces. With a quick, precise shot, the shackles holding the queen fall away. Jasmine is stunned by the magical efficiency of these men, her physical freedom restored in a heartbeat, fueling her sudden glimmer of hope. There is no time for questions. The soldiers hoist the queen and the children onto their backs, sprinting through the dungeon tunnels, reuniting the fractured family as they race toward the surface and their waiting king. As they make their escape, they are confronted by the devil herself, Camara. She enters the parlor with her guards, only to find the scene of carnage and the realization that her captives have slipped through her fingers. Camara orders her men to stop them, but Landon does not engage in a prolonged fight. He prioritizes speed and momentum, charging his team straight through the guard lines as the mission turns into a desperate race against time. Bursting out of the mansion, the team transitions from a sprint to a tactical walk to evade notice. They reach the stables at the edge of the city, their horses waiting like beacons of freedom in the night. They ride like the wind, disappearing into the cover of the forest. The guards at the city gates are left clutching their arms, wounded by unseen weapons, bewildered by the mystical forces that just dismantled their authority. Arriving at the hidden hideout, the rescued family is greeted by the sight of giant balloons swaying in the night air. Their confusion turns to awe as they witness the strange technology of their saviors. The transition to the air is meticulous. Landon ensures the family is settled into their stalls, providing blankets and pillows. The family, still in shock, watches as the impossible becomes their new reality. With a roar of fire, the balloons rise, lifting the family above the world they once knew. They watch the palace grow smaller, a tiny speck of darkness against the vast, illuminated horizon of their escape. High in the air, the terror of the dungeon begins to fade. The children discover the simple wonders of their saviors, snacks and clean drinks that taste like magic to their starving bodies, grounding them in this new, strange safety. Landon maintains strict discipline. With his megaphone, he coordinates the journey, ensuring the safety of every guest, his leadership acting as a steady pulse in the quiet, expansive darkness of the sky. Miles away, the morning brings only rage for Camara. She lashes out at her failure of a guard force, her vanity bruised, her plans for the crown currently smoldering in the wake of an enemy she cannot even comprehend. After days of travel, the land comes into view. Landon oversees the transfer of his rescued charges onto a majestic naval vessel, their journey toward a new life in Baymard finally underway. Inside the ship's luxury quarters, the children are dazed. Kriya stares into a clear, beautiful mirror, seeing the reflection of a life she never imagined possible, her awe deepening her bond with her handsome, heroic savior. Moments of lightness break the tension. Landon interacts with the little girl, his wink turning her shy, and the group finds joy in the simple human connections that have been denied to them for so long. Mitchell stands alone on the balcony watching the waves. His body is still recovering, but his mind is burning with the fires of revenge. Kamara will pay for her treachery, and he will be the victor when the winds turn. The voyage continues, the ship cutting through the dawn. They are leaving the darkness of the past behind, sailing toward the unknown shores of Baymard, where the next chapter of their lives and their revolution awaits.